Well. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Crypto Morning Coffee. And today we have some very interesting topics again, which I cannot wait to share with you guys. We are going to talk about Fidelity rumors. Are they making a seismic move in the markets? We are going to talk about spot Bitcoin ETFs and what they are having basically in store for us for the next bull run. We are going to talk about the Bitcoin cycles. We are going to talk about huge Vivi announcements. All of that. Also, if you are watching this video afterwards, not as a live stream, but as a video, then you might already find the timestamps down below. But all of that we are discussing right after the intro. So, good morning, everyone. I hope you have your coffees locked and loaded, ready to go, and energy is already here. So, good morning, energy. I want to quickly do some housekeeping here and say I'm not a financial advisor. Please do your own research on all of the investment opportunities that you can see here or that you can find in the discussions on this channel. I'm not responsible for your wins nor for your losses, so do your own research and just enjoy the live stream. Also, I want to quickly thank each and every one of you that is already subscribed to this channel, who has smashed the like button on these live streams, and I want to welcome my newest member of the channel members, and that is XR Marty 2005 with the number 17 on my rare hodler screen. So thank you for being a member of this channel, for supporting me here on this journey. I'm really grateful for that. And yeah, I think let's jump right in. But one more thing maybe, and G-Money, good morning, also here. By the way, why isn't there... Oh, I don't have a chat in the subscriber screen, but that doesn't matter. Just one more thing. This is going to be a little bit of a shorter stream, since I have been on around the Ekomi verse yesterday until late in the night, until 2 in the night. So I slept a little bit, and now I'm back with the morning live stream. So there we go. Good. Yeah, let's take a sip of coffee first. That's really needed. Okay, so as you can see here, this is this is not the biggest news page of all times, but I think the rumor is very valid, and it's very important for us to know that this rumor exists, and that is Fidelity is rumored to make a seismic move in the crypto space soon. So the rumor is basically that either Fidelity might buy out Grayscale or file for a spot BTF application. And that, as Blackrock did last week. Blackrock did last week, or basically a couple of days ago, file for a Bitcoin spot ETF. But basically, it is having so the asset management firm like Fidelity has mined Bitcoin since 2014. By 2018, it launched a separate cryptocurrency dedicated business, which is the FDA, the Fidelity Digital Assets, which has since received a New York Trust Charter and launched its European operations in 2020. Basically, they are enabling users to trade Bitcoin and Ethereum alongside traditional stocks, pushing for 401k digital asset investing. Rumors suggest that Fidelity, the world's largest asset management with 4.24 trillion under management, may be considering either buying out Grayscale or an application for Bitcoin spot ETF. By the way, guys, 8 people already here. Please smash up the like button real quick. Thanks for the like. And that is really what helps this channel to grow. So please, guys, every one of you, 8, 9 people here, smash up the like button so more people can be here with us on this live stream. So Grayscale operate 17 cryptocurrency trusts already, comprised of single multi-asset funds. The largest by asset under management is the Bitcoin Trust with 16.5 billion. So Grayscale is continuing to accumulate here in this Bitcoin Trust. Basically, Grayscale Trust products allow accredited investors exposure to the underlying asset via shares in the trust. Like an ETF product, Grayscale Trusts have SEC reporting requirements, providing stronger investor protection and so on. Now they want to have the spot ETF, right? So we have talked about this yesterday because we have talked about that spot ETF has basically the Blackrock filing is for a spot ETF, so direct investing via ETF via a proxy into Bitcoin. And yesterday, in the live stream yesterday, was very interesting. So if you haven't seen that yet, you might want to check that out. We have also looked at a chart that showed us how it looks when an ETF on such an asset is launched. So that was when back in, I think 2005 or something, 2006, the gold ETF launched and the thing went through the roof. So the timing is really, really good here. And so we see here, BlackRock may have found a way to get the SEC approval for the spot Bitcoin ETF. I pulled this up because I think it's important. And when we see that BlackRock filed it, and then right a couple of days afterwards, Fidelity is rumored to file for a spot ETF, we should see why they are doing this. And we have talked about this yesterday as well, that BlackRock has a 575 to 1 approval ratio for their ETFs. There's only one ETF that has been declined by the SEC. So now here they say on page 36 of NASDAQ, where the proposed ETF will be listed, 19B4 filing, it stated that to mitigate against market manipulation, NASDAQ will be brought into enter into a surveillance sharing agreement with an operator of spot trading platform BTC. Surveillance sharing agreements allow for the sharing information about market trading activity, clearing activity, and customer identification, allowing for little possible of market manipulation. And that was basically always the thing that held the SEC back, because they basically said that no, there can't be a spot ETF because Bitcoin is too heavily manipulated, or can be heavily manipulated by that. So as we see here, the SEC is very concerned with market manipulation related Bitcoin prices and has cited this in almost, if not all, previous rejections. This is because the SEC's view is that Coinbase and others are not regulated as exchanges and therefore cannot be trusted to prevent fraudulent and manipulative acts and practices. And we can doubt this a little bit, because we can also see that obviously the SEC and other powers want to favor rather BlackRock and Citadel and all the other ones over Coinbase and Binance, which might have to do something with the current lawsuits that have been slapped onto them right after that they filed these things. Let's see what Alfonso says here. How long does it take for the application to be approved on average? That is a very interesting question, which I cannot answer right away. But I remember when they tried to in the last bull run, or in the end of the last bull run, they tried for Bitcoin spot ETFs, and it didn't happen. And I think it was only a couple of weeks until it was declined. So I hope that within a couple of months at least there should be an approval for this. But we also know that the SEC dragged out all of these cases for a good while, right? So maybe they are just trying to drag the decision on this filing out. But last time, I remember this, last time on the spot ETF filing, there was a deadline in which the SEC had to answer, and they answered 1 or 2 days afterwards. So yeah, and the power, don't underestimate the power of spot ETF. The spot ETF will basically confirm and bring us in such a heavy pre-halving rally. It will bring us so much, once it's set up, it will bring us so much adoption and so much not trillions, but billions, or maybe trillions into Bitcoin. It is going to be absolutely nuts, absolutely wild. Which is why for today I selected a little bit of view in the Bitcoin cycles, which I found interesting. So there is from May this thread that I was looking through, and I think that is something that we should always keep in mind, right? Because despite what is happening right now, we are just like clockwork moving in this Bitcoin cycle theory, right? So as they state here, our investment cycle for Bitcoin consists of 3 distinct phases, each with its own characteristics. These phases define the trajectory of our investment strategy and help us when to buy, hold, sell. Not financial advice here. They say this. You can use or not use this as guidelines, but we are going to discuss this a little bit. So Alfonso also says, hopefully it's not a year away from approval. Even if it would be a year away from approval, we would only be in the beginning of the bull market, and it would just fire up the bull market, right? But let's look at this. So if we have here the first cycle, you always see the price is going upwards. So I was a little bit confused as well because the filled areas above, but it just marks the phases, right? We have the bull phase, we have the bear phase, and then the pre-halving bull run. So bull phase, bear phase, pre-halving bull run. And this pre-halving bull run last time was basically ripped apart a little bit by the health crisis crash that we all know about, which is this one. But now we had a bull run, we had our bear market that culminated in the FTX collapse and so on, November 22nd of 11/22. Very good point to remember where the Bitcoin bottom is. Now we are here. Now we are technically somewhere in this phase that could look like this, that could look a little bit more like this, pump and correct. But overall, we are in this pre-halving bull run already. So keep that in mind. If we are in this already, then this is where we're headed. And in the next April, that's where this where this yellow zone is about to end, right? So yeah, Omicron is here. Hey bro, just saying hello from Canada. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much, guys. And please, guys, smash the like button if you like this to help me. That's the only thing I really need. You don't have to send me money. You don't have to be subscribed, although I appreciate that a lot. But you don't have to. Just smash the like button. That's the best. That helps me. And obviously, if you want to drop a comment here in the chat, that also, first of all, it helps, but it's more about the discussion that brings so much value to all of us, right? So Omicron, glad to have you here. Greetings to Canada. And yeah, let's look at another one. So the duration of each bit of our Bitcoin phases can vary, as they are influenced by macroeconomic conditions, and unpredictable events such as black swan events can also impact the phases. But we have seen that here, right? So this is what I'm talking each day on this channel. I'm preaching this on each channel. Look at this. The US dollar value, or basically the US dollar, the US dollar value, the DXY basically, and the Bitcoin chart. So they are heavily inverse correlated, right? As we can see here. And what we see here is once it pumps, as it has right now, it basically has bottomed out right after the topping out of the dollar value. And that is so important, guys. It's so important, which is why we're looking at it almost every day on this channel. Because it's one of the only indicators that is front running Bitcoin. Because the pump or the dump in the DXY is almost always happening before Bitcoin reacts, right? So as you see here, this absolutely topping out happened almost a month, and then the collapse happened days before the bottoming out. So when it's collapsing, we're reversing for Bitcoin, right? And so this whole decline, and we will see this later, happened before. So you can really read on the DXY what Bitcoin is going to do next, in my opinion. Then this one, we have already seen this one once on my channel, but I think it's likewise important because we need to know the corrections that happened, right? And we see that we have a little bit of diminishing corrections, but also diminishing returns maybe, but still mega opportunity, right? So, for example, FTX crash and C19 were significant black swan events that affected the trajectory of our investment cycle. These events can cause sudden shifts in the market and require us to adjust our investment strategy and so on. But what's more important here is that this bear market was minus 96%, black swan Mt. Gox. Minus 86%, the next bear market phase, black swan Bitfinex. Minus 84%, black swan. Actually, the black swan was not in this one. There was another black swan, which I do not recall right in the bear market trough. But then there was a black swan out of the ordinary within this that caused this delay in the next pump. So now that was the C19, and then we have the black swan of FTX, and we don't know what is also coming, but that one also happens here. So that is that. The Bitcoin halving event marks the beginning and end of each of these bull phases. We see this here, beginning and end, roughly 375 days, 549 days. So we are expecting to have, once we reach this yellow box, another 500 and something days of just run up, and that is why. I mean, we all are here to get rich or just accomplish something with our finances, right? In this market. So that is why these phases are actually the phases of positioning ourselves. And basically, this run was a little bit longer if you consider all of this pre-run. But the halving was, I don't know why this box is a little bit off, but the runs have started pre-halving already. So the question is, how will we be front running the next halving or not, right? But anyways, I think that is where we are right now. It's still accumulation phase, especially for altcoins. Let's look at the markets quickly, and then we come to the charts, and then to Vivi and Ekomi, which is also important. So as we can see here on the day, we have a little bit of mixed feelings. The last hour is a little bit red, but nothing too much. So if we see here Optimism, Casper, FXS are the biggest winners. Hex gets smashed and hammered as usual. We have in general a little bit of green here in the market. VeChain, even the FTT token. Look at this. Don't buy this. I think that's safe to say that is not good. Let's also look at the top 200 quickly. The ones below 100. It's not including the 100. Omi is up. Actually, on the day, Omi is between the bigger bubbles today. So Omi is up 2.8%, which is maybe because of the bullish stream that we had yesterday around the Ekomi-verse. Who knows? Shout out to Jordan and his Ekomi-verse stream at this point. It was super fun yesterday with Crypto Rain and Doctor of Stuff. Really good guys, really interesting thoughts that they brought on there. And Jordan is a good host. So that was fun. Bitcoin, why is this disappearing? Why is my Why is my long-term cup and handle that we had in disappearing? Guys, don't get confused by the lines. We have decided to leave these in to just for monitoring our own predictions here. We have also decided to leave this trend line in, although it has been broken, which is very relevant as we see right now. If we go, so first of all, let's just look at how Bitcoin moves at the moment. So we see this flag is still active, right? Even though we had a fake out down here, but this flag is still pretty active. So maybe you can see it a little bit better if I get rid of the lines quickly. This downward sloping thing, even without lines, it's very clear, this flag. And what happened is also that this trend line has been broken to the downside. Now it seems that we have come up again. Yeah, so we want to see that we can now stay above here and break through this and maybe just coil up something like this. Nonetheless, we could also get rejected here and just consolidate sideways still. So it's very undecisive phase of many lines and indicators, basically, where you could say, for example, if you look at stochastic RSI down here, if you look at volume, so not much momentum, not much volume. What do we have coming up? Building permits, Prel, that is not so important. Fed Chair Powell testimony. So yeah, in the light of that, Fed Chair Powell is going to speak tomorrow. I think it's tomorrow, right? This one seems to be tomorrow, yeah. It is safe to say that we will have some volatility here, because we always know that the rate hike, so it's not going to be a rate hike. We had our rate hike, or not rate hike, or rate hike pause. But what's important is how the outlook is, because the market is factoring in at the moment, or has been factoring in, that this year still that they would pivot and do some rate cuts. Then Fed Chair Powell came out and said it will not happen, which strengthened the dollar and led to this small collapse here. I think it was this one, right? So here we will have a decisive move by what Fed Chair Powell is saying. G-Money says, I just watched the stream. It was a great conversation. Yeah, it was really great. And thank you for pointing that out. Yeah, everyone who hasn't watched it yet and who wants to be bullish on Ekomi and Vivi should watch that, definitely. So yeah, what I could expect is that we get rejected a little bit here still, and we just maintain this flag for a little bit more. But if Powell says something bullish, we just could have could have our candle go out of this, retest, boom, right? Anyways, that is how it looks. Let's look at the macro, the little bit bigger picture here, and see if our mega bullish pattern is still in place. And we see, and guys, just for transparency purposes, I had drawn this a little bit smaller before, but since we take so much time on this handle, I have increased this handle a little bit, but the pattern stays the same, right? So we have the cup, we have the handle, and if we would have a breakout from this pattern, let's just say that this is our neckline, and we have a measured move. Don't nail me on this, but let's say we break out somewhere here, right? Then this would bring us up to 60,000. I'd go a little bit more conservative and just say we would come up until this 40 something, where this so either it's like this, like the next big resistance where the sideways, this noisy area is, right? If that would be happening, so that is where we anticipate Bitcoin to go. Also, somewhere here I had drawn in where the next top should be. Oh yeah, there we go. So according to all these cycles, somewhere here at between 140 and 180,000 at least should be the Bitcoin top 2025, right? So it's going to be super fun in a year and a half or something to look at this and see how this played out, if we were right, if we were horribly wrong. So far, we are looking pretty good with our bull flag here. And we are going to see day by day in Crypto Morning Coffee how this all is playing out and how our investments, our finances are moving accordingly. So now what we don't like to see, but unfortunately we are seeing right now, is that the DXY on the daily is recovering a little bit. So 3 days in a row, which is why we are stalling out a little bit on Bitcoin, right? So as I mentioned before, the dollar value, if it drops, risk on assets, including Bitcoin pump, we have a lower high trajectory. So this is looking good, even if we are coming up here a little bit. I think it is because the anticipation of what Fed Chair Powell is saying regarding the state of the inflation. If Fed Chair Powell is bullish, I expect this to collapse and then Bitcoin to pump. Good question from West Coast guy. Will Omi ever do anything? Will David Yu and the team sucks, to be honest? I think that is a very valid question, and we will just discuss this right now. Just looking at altcoins are consolidating. This chart doesn't need a lot of explanation. This is the entire altcoin market cap without Ethereum and Bitcoin. Altcoins are consolidating. Let's look at Ekomi. So let's refresh this right now. So there we go. Ekomi actually did nothing, as you said. And thanks for everything you do, Patient Hodler. You're welcome, guys. And Jordan is coming in just at the right time when I'm about to talk about Omi. Yeah, thank you, West Coast guy, for pointing that out. I'm really happy to be able to do these live streams. For this one, I slept about 4.5 hours, I think. Jordan is still awake, I guess. But Jordan, I just told them about our amazing stream yesterday. It was really good. So let's look at Ekomi here. As I mentioned before, we had this bear flag. We pointed the bear flag out on the stream. We pointed this bearish retest out on the stream. So far, we are pretty good. Now, what basically looks to me is that we don't have momentum. There's nothing oversold. Yet we are still at the lowest points. So I expect this to either continue like this or maybe lose slowly to these levels, something like that, right? And once this is done, I am going to accumulate a little bit of Ekomi there. I think that this is very likely, but it's not impossible. And I think yesterday's stream at Jordan's channel also gave me one thing. Like when we look at this and we look at potential downside, right? If you are bullish on Ekomi, there is no reason to hesitate accumulating here already. Something like keep some powder on the sidelines in case it drops lower or even lower than that. But on the other hand, we need to see that basically Omi, as West Coast guy pointed out, Omi did not anything, right? Omi doesn't have anything, which means that the upside is let's say unproportionally high, right? So yesterday, Doctor of Stuff and Crypto Rain pointed that out, and also Jordan, is that we do not have the exchanges, right? Which is right now a bearish thing, but we also do not have the utility. It's a bearish thing. We do not have the integration into the app. We do not have the visibility from the pumps and so on. We do not have the profits trickling in. We have a very, very low volume. That are all bearish things right now. But at the same time, that also opens up the token for once these are coming, if they are coming, these things, for a massive, massive pump. Because like only exchange listings without anything else would pump the token so hard. So that always we have to keep in mind. And there will be the time where this is just announced and then the price will react, and this could lead to a chain reaction. I just don't think I just don't think that we are there right yet, which is why I'm still hesitating a little bit. But I may be making a move. I will stock up, and once I do, I will let you know right away on Twitter. So make sure to follow me on Twitter, and whenever I did it, I will also let you know here on the Crypto Morning Coffee. And yeah, so Jordan says, "Sorry, bro. No worries there. It was a great stream. I'm happy to be there and discuss these things with you, because the discussions with everyone, like also with the fam, is opening is opening up so many angles to look at something. So yeah, there is buying going on, no matter what, but it's not massive, right? So if you look at this is something that I always point out. There is, like, if you see this, the volume just went away, right? Over the time. And then there was one big massive, here is actually where everyone thought the bottom was in, because even I thought that the bottom might have been in for Ekomi, like it was for some other altcoins, although for some of these that were labeled securities is what was actually not in. But one of the big indicators for the bottom being in, but only one, and we see here right now that it's not enough as an indicator, right? Is that massive volume is coming back. And at the time, we only had these volume candles. And I thought now it's coming back and looking like more like this, but it didn't. And so that is why I'm really hesitant to call the bottom here, is that I don't see any momentum, any volume, and also no news leading up to that. The only thing that we should keep in mind is that Ekomi has announced the blockchain team, the dedicated blockchain team, right? But they have announced that they hired this. Doesn't mean that they have already been working months on the token. So this is why I think we have a couple of months. I could see OMI bottoming out somewhere within, if we see a Bitcoin rally, like a big Bitcoin rally, then OMI bleeding out in this Bitcoin rally and then bottoming out after that, right? That when people are putting back profits, so something like that. But it's all theory, and right now we need to stick to what we see, and what we see is this, right? That is the trend in the small term. Since February, it's just down, right? And there will be the point where we will take out highs, like little highs like this. But honestly, to have a real trend reversal, I would like to see us at least to come back over this support line here, where we basically have confluence, right, at the moment. I would really like to see this broken to be able to say, hey, maybe we have reversed, and I would be sure if we come up into the double zeros, right? DW, I called the bottom 00055. Okay, so what does DW mean, by the way? Am I stupid? I don't understand. But you called the bottom at... Wait, at where? 5 fivers. It's right under this, right? So it's right... Yeah, it's right here somewhere. But actually, you see this wick is the bottom then. So the bottom is at 5141, right? At least on Gate.io. I think it could, with this low liquidity, it can vary from exchange to exchange. So what I am looking at is the price development on Gate.io. Why? Because there is a lot of chart history to look at, but probably, yeah. Yeah, we could look at another exchange as well. Yeah, around there. So that is also where I say, usually what happens if these stop sells are taken out, from my observation, personal observation, is that that the price is coming back once more to almost these levels that have been wicked out, and then it goes back. And also, it's not so much bottomy for me, because usually you have several long wicks on the bottom, like a beard. But anyways, I could be wrong about this, But I will look for a little more. I might be deploying something, and once I do, some capital into Omi, and once I do, I'll let you know. Yeah, you took a Sendex. So maybe because of very low liquidity on Gate.io, it might have wicked lower here, which is a momentary thing. But again, I want to see just these long wicks where people try to dump and it just doesn't happen. But maybe we already ran out of steam for the sellers. Who knows? But yeah, we will see. I think there's no rush right now. I don't think Omi Utility is being announced in this month. So yeah, we'll see. Good. Let's look at Ekomi. And the first thing that I want to share, Ekomi. Let's look at Vivi. And so thank you for submitting your feedback and helping us better serve current and future collectors on Vivi. So the survey giveaway winners should have their prizes in their collection right now. I didn't win anything, I think. Vivi Vivi liked my morning stream, by the way, guys. Interesting. That is good. So yeah, so check your collections on Vivi if you have taken part in the survey. You might have won a collectible, although it was only a couple of them. Let's see if someone won it. Let's see if someone got benefited by the gods of drops. I didn't get anything. I just looked here at my collection. The last thing that I got was my Thanos airdrop. Congrats, winners. Cool. Did someone get it here? Not a... How if you never asked for our usernames, email associated with your account? I think they asked for the username though. Yeah, West Coast guy says, I'm afraid when crypto finally gets a nice bull market, Omi won't be ready and the price will stay low. I think even if Omi doesn't do anything, the price will not stay low. Because we have seen that before, that so many coins that had absolutely no utility just started pumping in anticipation of something. So I think no matter what, even if Omi would be absolutely abandoned and dead, we would recover to double zeros only because of bull market. So yeah, so here's actually no one claiming that they got anything. Yeah, shocker, I lost. Where's the Guardian poster? Yeah. So good. Let's come to the big announcement, because that is that. And yes, actually, I have to say I was very wrong yesterday, because I speculated that it's going to be a collectible, because they have never teased just with icons or emojis a comic, but maybe they have. So the one that we looked at yesterday was for the Incredible Hulk #1 comic, and that, in my opinion, is a big one. That is one that has a ton of value in the real world. Actually, let me just go and see what that value is. Hulk #1 value. Let's see. So Incredible Hulk #1. Oh, that is big. So let's go on Go Collect here together and just see what it is. There we go. So as we can see, there's apparently a 9.41 that has been graded but never sold, or at least I cannot see it. But it's, yeah, maybe it has been sold and I can't see it. But the 9.2 and the 9 zeros are about 19, 7 sales, and going for 200 to 300,000 US dollars. So that what I like to compare on these grades is that these might be like commons, for example, the lowest digits that are possible on Vivi, but as well secret rares when they are really scarce. So I'm looking forward to know about the numbers of this comic, and I'm definitely going for it. I hope they have the waitlist drop up for it, so that everyone that wants this comic has a chance of getting it. But even the 6-0 is going for 50,000, the 4-0 for 26,000. But you have to see, you have to always put this into perspective, right? You cannot just say that even a shipment common on Vivi is going for 26,000 one day, because as you see here on the census, there are only 136 of them. You could add up all of these and then see what's reasonable, right? So that you have the real scarcity of these. You could add up all of the of these, and you would end up, for example, putting the price perspective here in, let's say, together of, let's say, 20,000 with against 1,000 editions, right? So then you could say if the common has 10,000 editions, which it will not have, it will be lower, but then you could say the common should end up one day in many years with $2,600 or something. You could just make a math like that. It's absolutely not reasonable. It's just something to glue your mind on, because also you could say there's mass adoption coming. It's easier to trade. There is a big market for it, blah, blah, blah. And they could go higher. Or you could say digital collectibles not as interesting as physical ones, so these price points will never be reached. But if you hit a secret rare, or if I hit a secret rare, and this is not financial advice, I will hodl it with my dear life, because I want to see the prices for that one in the bull market. So yeah, Jordan says that's the biggest risk IMO. Not that it goes much lower, just that it does nothing. If no utility is out in time, should be good by end of Q3. Yeah, I think so. And also you have to see, many people want to still accumulate Ekomi, so the longer it takes, the more time they have. But one day this time will be suddenly over, and then there will be a rally. But until then, fathers will have their way with Ekomi. People that, like me, that criticize Ekomi will have their way with the token. So until then, and then we will see. And I hope we get some utility, and then we can switch the bull mode on again, and that is good for everyone. So yeah, I am extremely bullish on this comic, guys. I hope that it's not too scarce in the sense that it's just impossible to get it, but it's scarce enough to create a ton of value. What days do you broadcast and what time do you start? I thought it was 9 a.m. Germany time and 11 p.m. Los Angeles time. It's actually 7:45 at the moment, 7:45 German time. I have, if you have seen that, XR Marty, presented you as our new channel member. In the beginning of the stream, as you see here, your little icon is already there. So I have put you up there already. Sorry for the delay, though. I saw that you have already subscribed 3 days ago or so. But yeah, at 7:45 a.m. CET would be also the time that I have right now, because unfortunately at 9 a.m. I already have to be at work, right? So, or somewhere around. Wow, thanks. Yeah, no problem. Recap of what? Recap? What do you mean by recap, Justin? Yeah, then also, I think this was interesting. I cited this quickly yesterday on the around the Comiverse. Eddie Dorsey from Ubisoft, apparently, currently building Ubisoft's Web3 community. Please don't compare me to Emily in Paris. Okay, we don't do that. But she says, so she is in the Web3 department of Ubisoft, and she was like, it was lovely to meet both David and Dan at the Las Vegas Licensing Expo to discuss what's next and how we can push the boundaries in the space. Stay tuned. Now, I don't know if this is about with Vivi pushing the boundaries, but I think they were discussing this. So as you can see here, they have been meeting up there. We have shown this yesterday as well, but I think the comment from Ubisoft is very good, because they say they want to push the boundaries, and that is what's important here. Let's see. West Coast guy says off-topic PH, but what do people in Germany or you feel about Russia and Ukraine at war? It is so. I try to not get too much or wrap my head too much around this because, so first of all, if you look at the map, it is very close, right? There's only Poland basically between us, and I'm in Bavaria, so there's basically Bavaria, Czech Republic, and Poland is on the side of Germany, and then there's already Ukraine. So it's a weird feeling to know that there's just one smaller country between you and a war zone, right? How do we feel about this? So when it started, I was a little bit, let's say, not scared, but I had a little bit of a frozen feeling in the gut. Why? Because I was in the German military, also in the reserve, and while I was live streaming with a couple of other people on German live stream, my sister sent me a message and was like, "Hey, they just said they're going to mobilize the German army reserves in the face of of that upcoming war, right?" And I was like, "Holy, I really don't want to be mixed into that one, right? Be stationed somewhere at the front line at the Balticum or whatever, right?" So that was a little bit of a shocker in the beginning, but then that all didn't happen, and now it just became state of normal. I am not worried that it will spill for now because it's just the entire EU, basically, almost the entire EU, basically being in the NATO, and basically all of the outlines, all of the borders of the European Union there with Ukraine are basically a no-go zone for Russia if they don't want to start a third world war, right? So that is, and they have been careful to not breach these borders. So I'm not worried about this too much right now. If it is, if this would ever happen, I hope I can live stream from the forests there or something. But yeah, that would be devastating. Not really want to joke about that. Recap just joined. Unfortunately, you will have to go back on this, Justin. I cannot recap 45 minutes of stream. And no worries if you don't want to speak on it. Yeah, geography-wise, you are very close. Yeah, it's not. So, for example, I just don't want to take a political stance because I have friends and people that I know from both countries. And it's just, we all know that wars are fought over things that and from people that don't have to do with the matter. So it's like this. I don't remember this quote, but there is like elderly politicians decide where young people can massacre each other somewhere in the world. So that is really what my stance is on this. I really hope that this comes to an end very soon. But yeah, I mean, we have seen some really bad wars in the past in Europe and also outside Europe. So yeah, hopefully it doesn't spill, man. But it's an interesting topic for sure. G-Money says, comics are the way. I'm up to 1,800 comics with the lion's share being uncommon stacks for MCP points. Are you stacking anything or just collecting secret rares? No, I have 400 comics, I think. Let me see. I have 355 comics and 134 collectibles. Of that, I have like 13 secret rares or so. But I'm looking to stack up the secret rares a little bit more. And also what I like is also the Vivi exclusive ultra rare covers. So I need to stack up more of these as well. Because I think I don't know, I've just a gut feeling that there's something about those ultra rare covers that are Vivi exclusive. So if they ever get Marvel mass adoption, so all the collectors in there, they will have to have these because they don't have them in the physical. They just don't exist in the physical, right? So that's why I always have bought some of these ultra rare covers that I think are looking great, and where are only 1,000 of them available or so. Because if you put it into perspective, 1,000 exclusively digital, that is a big thing, right? So yeah, I think also comics are the way to go. Also because within the app there is more upside to a comic, because a collectible or so you could always say, okay, it doesn't have animations, it's already present in showrooms. You cannot really use it. But the comic, you can read it, so the functionality is there, but it's still not implemented for showrooms. So once it is, that in itself will give a boost to all the comics. And also, it's very easy to get into collecting with comics because the prices are so low on the commons that people can easily get into collecting and stacking up some MCPs by doing that. And that just helps spreading it a little bit more thin, right? Yeah, Energy says, with the prices of the last all-time high, I never thought to have more than 10 SR comics. Yeah, I thought that Journey into Mystery 85 will be my only secret rare comic, and now I'm able to buy one or two here and there. So for sure, once I buy my next secret rare comic, I will also let you guys know about this move. But for now, I'm just observing. End of month, money coming in will be the point where everyone will be able to purchase something more with that regards. But yeah, so I'm really excited to see what Ubisoft and Vivi are building. I think they are growing a partnership here, because I think they were really happy about the Rabbids drop. So G-Money says only 2 million Omi though, Jordan, but I'm still accumulating. Yeah, same here. I also only have 2 million Omi. You have. I always say this. I'm being transparent about this. But the 3rd million might be on the way. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? I will let you know once I did it. Okay, guys, make sure to smash up the like button if you haven't yet. Those of you who have joined later, please smash up the like button for this live stream. And yeah, and Energy is working on his 50th SR comic. Energy is our German community mega whale. With, I don't know, Energy, you have like 200 sets or so. That is absolutely crazy. But that is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. And yeah, make sure to smash the like, subscribe if you don't want to miss these streams. You are subscribed for almost daily updates on crypto, Ekomi, Vivi, and